Hi everyone, Brett McRae here with your Farm and Ranch news from the Northern Ag Network. Fears are rising from experts that this year's Durum wheat crop may not yield enough to supply world demand. The majority of the 1.48 million acres of durum in the United States this year is being grown in Montana and North Dakota. The dense and high protein class of wheat is used to make pasta, which contributes to export sales for the U.S. crop. Italy is a major buyer of durum, and this year the country is facing quality issues with its own crop, increasing the need to buy. Large durum producer Canada is expecting tight supplies thanks to limited precipitation. Here in Montana, conditions for durum are actually worse than last year. 24% of the crop is rated poor to very poor, compared to only 6% last year. Earlier this year, USDA announced that a certificate of inspection had been provided for a cell-based protein product. National Cattlemen's Beef Association CEO Colin Woodall says that the organization is concerned with possible confusion about the labeling of all cell-based protein products.
The biggest burden is on us in continuing to promote our product. We are the preferred protein. I believe we're going to remain the preferred protein, but the way we do that is make sure that everything on that label is clear to the consumer.
Woodall says that the introduction of cell-based proteins gives the beef industry the opportunity to showcase the terrific attributes of traditionally raised beef. We'll be back in an hour with your markets.
We asked Montana farmer Walt Sales about the challenges of mental health in agriculture.
Another drought, there always is. There's always going to be another something. I grew up in a generation of you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. But it's become evident is what do you do if you can't even find those bootstraps? If you need to talk to somebody, go to beyondtheweather.com for free counseling for Montana ag producers.
Hello everyone, Brett McRae back with more ag news and your markets. A new study from the Minneapolis Federal Reserve finds that high interest rates affect agricultural producers with the thinnest margins the most. The Fed's 9th district, based in Minneapolis, covers Montana, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, and parts of Michigan and Wisconsin. Interest rates have doubled since 2022 for agricultural producers after a decade of historically low and stable rates. With these increases, cash flow projections for producers that borrow larger amounts of money are more sensitive to interest expenses. Those higher expenses could require them to borrow even more money because of lower working capital levels. The Fed says that heavily leveraged producers typically spend 3 times more on interest expenses per acre farmed. Cash cattle trade rolled in $1 to $3 higher last week, averaging $187 on the hoof and $295 in the beef. On Friday, cull cows in St. Onge traded from $1 up to $119. Bulls pretty firm at $120 up to $134. Slaughter ewes in Sioux Falls last week from 40 to 60 cents a pound. Wheat markets turned things around Monday after 5 days of selling last week. Traders have remained focused on Russia's cheap, discounted wheat, making the country the low-cost seller on the world stage. But supplies both here in the U.S. and abroad are expected to be historically tight regardless. Thanks for joining us for your Ag Report on the Northern Ag Network. I'm Brett McRae.